A looming crisis, the specter of global food insecurity. Wheat fields wither under scorching suns, rice paddies run dry, starved of precious water. Empty supermarket shelves stand as stark reminders of a growing global crisis, food insecurity. This is not a scene from a dystopian future, but a harsh reality unfolding in our present day. The world is facing a convergence of crises, from climate change and conflict to economic instability, all converging on a single vital resource: food. Food, the most basic of human needs, is rapidly becoming a source of geopolitical tension. Traditional breadbaskets struggle with drought and floods, and global supply chains buckle under conflict and pandemics. Are we on the brink of a new kind of war, fought not with bullets and bombs but with food? Understanding this crisis is crucial for global security and human well-being. Beyond bullets and bombs. Defining food wars in the 21st century. Food war, the phrase itself is jarring, conjuring images of armies clashing over fields of grain. But the reality of food insecurity in the 21st century is far more nuanced, often playing out in the shadows of global trade, political maneuvering, and climate change. It is a war fought not on traditional battlefields, but in the interconnected realms of agriculture, economics, and international relations. Nations may utilize food exports as a political tool, leveraging their control over vital resources to exert pressure on rivals or secure strategic alliances. Trade restrictions, embargoes, and price manipulations become the weapons of choice, creating artificial scarcity and driving up prices in vulnerable regions. Developing nations, already grappling with poverty, political instability, and the impacts of climate change, are disproportionately affected by disruptions in the global food system. Rising food prices can lead to social unrest, mass migration, and exacerbate existing tensions. Understanding the multifaceted nature of food wars is crucial for developing effective solutions. America's heartland at risk: domestic implications of global food insecurity. The United States, with its vast plains and technological prowess, might seem immune to the threat of food insecurity. However, the reality is far more complex. The U.S. remains a global agricultural powerhouse, but it is not immune to the ripple effects of a global food crisis. The U.S. is both a major exporter and importer of food, relying on global markets for certain crops, inputs, and processed foods. Disruptions to international trade, whether caused by conflict, pandemics, or climate change-induced disasters, can quickly translate into price shocks and shortages on American shelves. The increasing consolidation of the agricultural industry, both domestically and globally, creates vulnerabilities. Climate change adds another layer of complexity, with extreme weather events devastating crops and disrupting planting and harvesting cycles. Rising food prices disproportionately impact low-income families, leading to increased food insecurity and malnutrition. Disruptions to the agricultural industry can have devastating economic consequences, leading to job losses and a decline in rural livelihoods. A world divided: food insecurity and the fate of developing nations. While the specter of food insecurity casts a long shadow over even the most prosperous nations, it is the developing world that faces the most immediate and dire consequences. For millions living in poverty, food represents not a source of culinary delight, but a daily struggle for survival. In these vulnerable regions, the convergence of climate change, conflict, and economic instability is pushing food systems to the brink, with devastating human costs. Rising food prices can push millions into poverty, forcing families to make impossible choices between feeding their children or paying for essential healthcare and education. Malnutrition rates soar, stunting growth, hindering cognitive development, and perpetuating a cycle of poverty that can span generations. As hunger spreads, it becomes a potent catalyst for social unrest, fueling political instability and exacerbating existing conflicts. Desperate populations, driven by the need to feed their families, may resort to desperate measures, leading to mass migration, civil unrest, and even armed conflict. The Arab Spring uprisings, for example, were sparked in part by soaring food prices, highlighting the potent link between food security and political stability. Climate change acts as a threat multiplier, exacerbating existing vulnerabilities and creating new challenges for food production. Addressing global food insecurity requires a multi-pronged approach, encompassing investments in sustainable agriculture, strengthening local food systems, and providing humanitarian assistance to those in need. If you found this video insightful, please like and subscribe to Express Econ Geo Finance Insights for more in-depth analysis.